Welcome everybody to my World War Doe video. We're going to start trying to do a World War Doe video every Wednesday. We might call it World War Wednesdows. That works. But welcome in. Let's check out this battle. All right, so we have our decks there. You can pause it if you want to keep track of that. I should have kept it longer, but you see the difference here in the dough used and just the amount of damage done. Very, very different there. So it's an interesting game. He got a lot of value from that Dr. Death, but we'll see how we come out and what kind of gameplay we can get out of this. Now, it is important to note that I don't really play this game all that often, and so although I do have fairly good card levels, the way that the system works for gaining matchmaking points, I cannot progress. Even though I match up against diamond players consistently, I don't have enough time in the season to get to 6,500. I just don't. I only get like 15 points per win. I just do not play the game that much. But you'll see I started with the Buck, he started with the Grievel, which is kind of a problem for us. We don't really have anything that we can reach back and get to that Grievel. There's no spells or anything in this deck, but we are able to use the Barbarix to get lucky there and get the Grievel there. Now, another thing to note on this deck, this is actually an event deck for the Go Big or Go Home. You can tell that I have multiple units above 6 cost. It's really not a good deck at all. It's actually a bad deck. There's no spells, there's not a whole lot of cheap units. It doesn't really work at all, but one thing that I do like about World War Doe is that you can kind of, as we see a little spectator mode glitch there, you can kind of play whatever you want, and if the levels are there, the cards are fairly balanced. I am pretty impressed with that. You can see me trying that roadkill out level 5. Does actually do a pretty decent amount of damage to the tower every time you do it. So if you once I get that to level 6, I'm only a few away. I'm only like 5 or 6 away. The way this game works, where you can kind of pick and choose what you get with different things. Like if you only play that epic, you'll only get that epic basically. So if you just make a deck that only has the cards that you want to get, you'll get that. Another thing to note is that spectator mode is notorious for not having the amount of energy right. I doubt that he's sitting on 10 energy right now. I really hate Pete, Riot Gear Pete, or whatever his name is. Really a tough card to deal with when you're running the Buck Porter Potty. Right now I'm taking a little bit of unnecessary damage, but what I'm trying to do is just keep my Bucks alive as much as possible. The Dr. Death really limits that, but I'm able to kill the Grievel there with that Rage. Now if I can get the Buck Tower as well, I'm really close to dying here, but I gotta bail. The Pete was there to block. But luck, it's just like, it's such a problem. Like, it deals with so much of the stuff. Now the Barbarix not hitting him there, him taking that little angle. I feel like the shield angle on Pete needs to change. I think it's a little bit too much on his side as well. He shouldn't be blocked from the side. That doesn't really make much sense to me. But you can see I really get low on health here, but we got 20 seconds to survive. He hadn't played a spell yet or anything that was really worrisome. The poison is a problem, but it doesn't poison you after you're out of the poison. It poisons you just while you're in the poison. So once you step out of it, you stop taking damage. But you can see that he's got those buildings matched up. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 4 of those Gatling guns. The one in the top left is kind of pointless. So we have kind of trouble here. We put the Barbarix out hoping to maybe get a splash, but unfortunately she doesn't hit. So we got to go for the Rage on the Pete again. We finally get our maxed Killbot out. Max level and max stack right now. Now we're a little worried here, but the only real damage he has that could kill us quickly, and for some reason spectator mode like sped up right here. You see how much quicker it is? But you see the Bucks finishing it off, and I actually did use the duct tape on that Buck that was killing the tower, so that maybe if the tower wouldn't have finished it off, we would have been able to go, or if the tower would have finished Buck off before he finished the tower, that extra life, the few seconds of not dying at the end, would have given him enough time to do the damage. So that deck, obviously not a good deck as far as like the construction of it. I don't have an offensive spell. I think it's always important to have at least one offensive spell, whether it's airdrop or just a snipe or something like that, or maybe even just a drill for buildings. If I would have had drill, that would have been really nice there. I could have gotten a lot of dough from those buildings, dealt with his buck tower, stuff like that. But the Dr. Death did so much damage. You saw that at the beginning picture. The Dr. Death did a lot of damage, but we were able to just keep kind of chipping away. The damage and the AoE explosion from the roadkill was actually really nice. Or road rash. Is it called roadkill or road rash? I can't remember. The car, the big car. That unit's pretty cool. I'm still kind of figuring out how it aims originally. I think it just goes towards the closest target, because you'd like it to just go straight down. Like if the captain's middle or the commander's middle and you want to just go straight down the line, it'll angle a little bit. But actually the angle can be good too, because then you'll bounce off the back wall, bounce off the side wall, and then get double, if not triple attacks on the towers. Because if you don't know this, every time the car hits you in its one path, you become immune to the damage for that path. So let's say if you had a card that somehow got in front of the car again after getting hit, it wouldn't take damage. Like if it was like if you're the commander and you teleport back behind, you won't take the damage until it hits the wall and bounces back. So you'll see it'll go through the tower, it'll do the damage, and it'll bounce back, and then it'll do damage again. And then couple that with the clown damage for the damage from the health, which isn't a lot, but it's a decent amount, especially if you have the clown upgraded. I only have him at level 3, so it's only 20%, but I think it can be up to, at max level, it gets to like 50%, and if it has 2,000 health or something like that, 1,000 damage is pretty damn good. You can chip out some towers with that. If they die, they'll have to try to kill it, not by the tower, or else you'll take that extra splash damage. But you see that I think the road rash was the key. Roadkill, now I got it mixed up the other way, was the key to that game. It was able to reach back, deal with the Grievel, deal with all those buildings that he had put down. That was really, really paramount to my success. So thank you so much for checking out the video. Like I said, we're going to try to do a video every Wednesday for World War Wednesdoh. Make sure you check out some other videos on the channel. We played multiple different games. Some of them are very similar to World War Wednesdoh. On Fridays, we do videos for a game called Champion Strike, which is very similar. You guys might want to check that out. Otherwise, have a good one. We'll see you next time. Thanks for checking out Glanzer Gaming. Peace.